Adam, like a lot of folks in my generation, I grew up watching the Jetsons cartoon, right? Where there was a
Yes.
robot in the home, and a lot of the things that you're talking about in your essay were imagined. You know, this comes from the 60s. Um, and but the ability of the humanoid robots that you talk about in your blog post to do the mundane tasks, you know, to mow the lawn, to clean the house, to, you know, clean the toilets once a week, whatever it is. Um, I think that may be the most exciting thing about humanoid robots.
Well, it's certainly the thing that we have collectively been imagining for generations now, certainly. But one thing I think that bears closer inspection is the idea of whether or not that's the limit, or what else will these humanoid robots be able to do in addition to those low-hanging fruit of the toil, the drudgery, the mundane tasks, as you said, that none of us want to do most of the time. Laundry, cleaning, cooking, perhaps is something that we can do and love, but there are times when it's a chore. Okay, so chores, sure, it makes very good sense for a robotic servant to lend a hand with those. But one thing that's worth pointing out is that humanoid robots, as their capability increases, won't be limited to being only able to do chores. They will have the full expertise that the entire artificial intelligence enabled fleet of robots possesses. Everything that a robot can do, your robot in your home will also have the knowledge, the expertise, the capability to do. That means once robots can do more complicated, challenging tasks, fixing a plumbing issue in your house, repainting, renovating, repairs, doing creative things like structuring an educational or play activity for your kids, organizing an activity out in the community with you and your family. Anything that a robot can do, yours will be able to do. These machines won't be specialists, they will be generalists with the entire broad domain of all expertise available to them at their robotic fingertips. And that really is different. That is a condition not so much like the Jetsons, but more like what royalty, kings and queens, experienced in the past, where they could snap their fingers and have not just servants, but experts at their beck and call. If a king needed, a new wing designed for the palace by the palace architect, snap the fingers and there's that expertise. On and on and on. Piano teachers, you name it. Anything that is capable, anything that a robot is capable of, you'll have access to that through your personal robot. And that really does spell a new kind of luxury for the up until now, what were the vast majority of us. Only a few hundred individuals throughout history had that sort of privilege. That's where we're headed at a mass scale. That's pretty exciting.
Well, speaking of a massive scale, that suggests that if let's say you're in a community and everybody's got a robot, maybe some people have got two robots, who knows? But then there are tasks that have to be done at a community level. And it might be gardening, it might be repainting the arena, who knows? But all of the robots could literally get together. Everybody could assign their robot to these community tasks, and the robots would go and do it. I think that's a fascinating idea.
Yeah, I mean, imagine if we had access to highly skilled work crews in our neighborhoods, in our communities, and those crews were working on a effectively a volunteer free basis as opposed to being very, very expensive, which they are today. Well, that would open the door to extraordinary new possibilities. So over the weekend, you add your robot to the community work crew, and a new playground gets constructed. The school, do a few classrooms need renovation? Well, lend your robot to the 20 robot crew for a couple of days to get that thing done for the community. We can start to imagine a lot of exciting possibilities, and the overall trend is a rising tide of quality and new possibilities that are enriching, both maintaining and keeping everything working, keeping everything clean and beautiful in our communities, but also adding variety, spicing things up. Things could be dynamic rather than static. You could have a community area, park area or something like that. It could have one purpose one week and shift to another purpose a different week. It could be a roller rink during the summer in one week, and then it could be a farm stand the next week, and on and on. The possibilities become that seem fanciful now become plausible when you're talking about having a super abundance of labor available. And that is where we're headed.
One of the possibilities here is fascinating. I'm kind of getting at that age where you get aches and pains and things don't work as well as they used to. And, there are all sorts of mental health issues. There are medical issues that need to be monitored, blood pressure and what have you. And suddenly you've got this robot in your home that can monitor all of that and maybe do minor procedures and so on. And that kind of an idea, I think, would appeal to a lot of people.
Well, that there's no question that for any individual of any age, and pretty much includes all of us in the later years of our life, we need help, we need assistance, and so for anyone who's elderly or who has any temporary disability, most of us have been injured at some point and have needed a helping hand. For any young children, for anyone who has any kind of disability, having that extra pair of hands, anybody who's been a caregiver knows how much an extra pair of hands makes a difference. And for anyone trying to live independently, having a robot would be a transformative aspect of life. And so I think this is one of the most promising, the most exciting avenues for artificial labor from robots to add to the lives of millions upon millions of people.